Hi, my name is Cate Perschke. I am an actress and a singer and a writer in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was just interviewed by Keith Andrew. I am really excited about what Keith Andrew is doing, and I think that it's amazing that he's found something that he's passionate about to chase, and I would hope that you support him too.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew, and this is episode 714. That is right, it is 714. I'm here with the beautiful and talented upcoming actress, Cate Perschke. Cate Perschke, it's a real honor to have you as a guest. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Keith. I'm really looking forward to this.
No, absolutely. Normal conversation, and you make a new friend out of it.
That's perfect.
No, absolutely. Whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities that never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. It's prove to them it can still amount to something. So hashtag break the labels. So that being said, half hour, 27 minutes of your time, you can say anything you want, talk about anything you want, PG-13, and let's just jump right into it.
Sounds great. Awesome.
Now, for people who want to know who you are, like I said, upcoming professional actress, and you are a professional singer.
I have done some singing, yeah. You won't find very many videos of it out there. Most of it's live performance, but you can find some of my acting videos if you look.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm going to ask you some easy questions, and we can go to the hard-hitting ones. So the first question is, when you were in high school and college, did you do any sports? And when you were in college, were you a study nerd or party animal?
Well, I did actually do fencing. That was the only sport that I did. And that was in the gap between high school and college because I graduated high school when I was 16. And then when I went to college, I got straight A's and made the dean's list, but I only took one semester of classes because I wanted to be an actor.
No, absolutely. So I guess doing fencing, you really got your frustration out.
Yes. Well, yes, I definitely did. It was a lot of fun and a lot of hard work.
No, absolutely. So the next question I want to ask you is, are you interested and curious about doing martial arts?
Yeah, I actually am. My dad is a black belt, and he taught me about how to punch, and that was about it. He tried to teach us classes one time, but it only lasted for a couple months, so I didn't get very far. But it's always been on my list of things that I want to learn about.
No, absolutely. And it's mostly important to have a great role model who inspires you and a great teacher. You know, a wise man once said, and see if I can think about it without hurting myself, work hard, play well, eat and sleep plenty. That's the way of the turtle hermit.
I like it.
No, absolutely. I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan.
Oh, I didn't know that was from Dragon Ball Z, but I like it anyway. I like Avatar, The Last Airbender. I'm working my way through Legend of Korra because the Earth Queen is really annoying.
No, absolutely. Hands down for me, Dragon Ball Z is number one best anime. Second, I would go with Pokemon. Then there's, Street Fighter, Fatal Fury. But Airbender is actually pretty good.
Yeah. I'm not too much into the anime, so it's just enough to make me happy without being overwhelming, I guess.
No, I agree. And it's funny because you get these life lessons and you get these motivational quotes, even from a cartoon, but it really strikes a chord and says, you know what? I'm going to have to use that because it sounds really good.
Yeah.
Now, the next question I want to ask you is, what were some of your favorite activities that you liked about sports and gym class, and what did you hate? I know you mentioned fencing.
I loved dancing. I didn't take dance until I was 16 years old because my parents didn't want to pay for it. So when I got my own job and paid for it myself, I could take dance. And I took that for 2 years. I took fencing. I loved to climb trees and run outside. We lived on a farm when I was a kid. So pretty much anything that I could do by myself that was a lot of energy, I did. I wasn't really into sports. I played soccer with my friends and baseball with my friends a couple times, but I never joined a team. I don't know if there's anything I don't like except maybe burpees. Burpees are hell, but everything else is great.
And for people who don't know what burpees are, what are those?
So a burpee is you start with a jumping jack and then you put your hands down on the floor by your feet and you kick your feet out behind you and you do a push-up and then you bring your feet back in, stand up, do another jumping jack until the teacher says to stop.
Sounds like I know what you're talking about now. I never done it. Maybe I have. I suck at hand-eye coordination, but it sounds pretty interesting. It sounds intense.
It's very intense. Yeah.
Now, the last easy question I want to ask you is, a lot of people make fun of me for this. Have you ever got the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or are you not into the whole human pyramid stuff?
I don't know that I have. I think I tried it a couple times because I have a lot of siblings. So we tried to do it together, but since we're all different ages, we all had different strengths. And the ones on the bottom didn't have enough strength to pile up. So we ended up in a dog pile.
I love that stuff. I'm a loser. But the next question I want to ask you, going back to your acting and singing, what did you major in, and how did you happen to fall upon your acting and singing career?
Yeah, I majored in communications and media. So I studied television production and some writing classes, things like that. But I already knew I wanted to be an actor before that. I started singing lessons when I was, I think, 10 or 12. And I took singing lessons most of my teenage life and some as an adult off and on. It's a lot harder to take classes when you're an adult, I think. And the acting, I think I decided I wanted to do that when I was watching Princess Diaries and I was 15 or 16 years old, and I finished the movie and I loved it so much that I started watching the behind the scenes, and just seeing everything that went into making a movie made me want to do it too.
No, absolutely. For me, the one movie that influenced my life at the time was Almost Famous. I wanted to go on tour as a roadie. I wanted to be a roadie, be there for, Kiss and Russ, go be there for WWE wrestler. And then I'm like, okay, it's not really that realistic because you have to support yourself and all that.
Yeah.
I came across a USA suit, USA suit. Well, it's funny. Don't mind me. I had a lot on my mind. It's a show on USA called Suits. And when
Oh
I
yeah.
came across Suits, I said, you know what? I want to be like Mike Ross. I want to have a girlfriend like Rachel. I want to have a boss like Harvey Specter. Life is this, but I like this. Since then, I wanted to be an actor. And of course, the next question I want to ask you is, have you taken acting classes? I tried, but I'm socially awkward. So for me, it's kind of like, for doing a talk show, I can express myself. Being in a class, once I get more comfortable, I have diarrhea of the mouth. I can't shut up. But the first couple times I was in a class, I was like, I feel socially awkward, this is not right. But I know in the heart I can do this, but it wasn't the right development. So when you started to be a professional actor, have you ever taken acting classes, and had you ever had self-doubts?
I have actually taken acting classes for about 10 years now, pretty steadily. I've taken a few months off here and there. And I would say that I probably have self-doubts more or less every day. I think that's just a thing. I had class last night on Zoom, and my acting coach was making us do exercises to teach us to know what we're good at, what we do well, and to be able to accept that and express it for ourselves, because a lot of actors struggle with imposter syndrome, and we tend to think that no matter how much we've done and how far we've gone, we'll never be where we need to be, because as we grow, then our skill and taste level grows. And so we're here, but our taste grew up to here, and we're just constantly chasing it and never catching up to what we think we could do.
No,
So
absolutely. And the biggest thing is you are your own worst enemy. I deal with that every day.
yeah.
And the next one I want to ask you is your professional singing. Was there a professional actor? Oh, it was actually two parts. Was there a professional actor that influenced you to say, you know what, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, acting wise? But at the same time, was there ever a professional performer and singer that say, you know what, maybe acting's not what I want. Maybe I'm good at singing. Was there a professional singer?
Let's see. There's a few singers I like. When I started taking voice lessons, we were doing a lot of classical and more musical style singing. So at that point, I really liked Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel and Renee Fleming, all of the more Broadway or classical music type singers. Now I listen to a lot more, and I sing more pop styles. It took a while to get there. I've thought about being more of a singer than an actor, but every time I do, I just remember how much I love telling stories. And I don't think I could ever make the full switch. I would always have to do both. Although Pitch Perfect is pretty much the perfect singing acting type movie. Too bad they made them already. And for actors, there's been a lot. I loved Anne Hathaway for a long time. I still love her. She just isn't as much an active person that I think about being inspired by. And I do love Anna Kendrick, and I really enjoy Meryl Streep, and I enjoy Matthew McConaughey a lot. I think it changes on the mood and what I'm watching right now, because I appreciate everybody and the art that they bring to the table. The other movie that I loved a lot when I started was Hook. So Princess Diaries and Hook were the two movies that really got me wanting to be an actor. So I guess Robin Williams, everything comes back to him anyway, right?
No, absolutely. I was gonna say that. You have some great people. You have Robert Downey Jr., Kristen Bale, Chris Evans, Chris Pines. But comedians, you have George Carlin, Robin Williams, Gabriel Iglesias, Dennis Leary. So you have these key people, and it doesn't matter if the movie completely sucks. I'll give you an example I'm talking about. I saw with my dad Snowpiercer. Piece of crap. Liam Neeson just did it for, payday. You want to do that. But he did it for laughs. The movie was completely terrible. It was okay, but it was more like the show Outlanders. What if you turn like a TV show into a movie? So
Okay.
there was no plot to it. It was just, okay, let's take an episode of Outlanders or, whatever cowboy show there is, put it on a screen for 45 minutes, an hour, stretch it out. And the reason I say Liam Neeson is it doesn't matter what movies or whatever he does. Once you hear a name that you like, Liam Neeson, Robert Downey Jr., like, you know what? Movie may suck, but you're the reason why I went to see it.
It's true. That's definitely a thing.
No, absolutely. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, I'm going to ask you about social media, and I'm going to pass the show over to you.
Hi guys, my name is Kat Johnston.
This is Donna Drake.
This is Kayleen.
Hi, my name is Kara Svuchek.
I'm Julia Brothers.
Jenna Curtis.
Hey, I'm Jenny Fon.
Hi, it's Mimi Chen.
Hi, my name is Ella Dorsch.
My name is Shauna Toft.
Hey guys, I'm Anastasia Edwards.
Hi, this is Jackie Nunez.
Actress Becky Hayes.
Hi, I'm Amelia Rose.
Hey there, I'm Saki Mieta.
Hey guys, I'm Alexandria Denise, and you're watching Keith Andrews Show.
On the Keith Andrew Network, I'm here with Cate Perschke. It's a real honor and privilege having you with us. Thank you for sticking with us.
Yeah, no problem. I'm enjoying myself.
No, absolutely. And I just do want to plug that every time we do a commercial break, that's for me to make sure the guests are enjoying themselves, make sure I don't ask stupid questions. As long as you're enjoying yourself, that's all that matters. Good message, good cause, and you make a new friend out of it. And like I said during the break, you can say anything you want. You can ask me anything you want. I have no cards up my sleeve. So anything you can like to talk about, promote. And one thing I do want to promote is my YouTube channel. Everyone can go to youtube.com, type in Keith Andrew Network, or one word, KeithAndrewNetwork.com. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. You'll be notified when brand new episodes are available. Also, the Keith Andrew Network is on Instagram. It's on Facebook fan page. So pretty much, if you look for it, you end up tripping over because it's really not really hard to miss. But the one thing I do want to say also, for those wrestling fans out there, September 12th, I'm doing a special ECW wrestling reunion. I have Raven, Justin Credible, Bay Ragme, and a couple other great stars. So remember, stay tuned, like, subscribe, and you'll be updated to all my merchandise. And merchandise are in the work. But with the pandemic, it's on kind of like a back foot right now. But with that being said, I wanted to plug the ECW show in September. I'm actually doing a Power Ranger reunion probably in October, TNA reunion in January. So a lot of great things coming. But the next thing I want to talk to you about while we're on the subject, social media. Does Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, do these things dictate if people should work with you? And have you gotten certain attention and certain roles because of these social medias?
That's a good question. It's a really good question. I have to think back. I know I've gotten work from people finding my profile on Backstage or Actors Access. I've definitely gotten auditions from people who find me on Instagram or Facebook. I don't know if I've ever booked any of those or not. I have done auditions for projects that I find on Facebook. There's several really good casting pages here in Atlanta, which is where I'm at. I'm in Atlanta. And so I've booked auditions from that. I don't know if I've booked projects or not. I think the funny thing about social media is that it takes a while for people to feel like they know you. And so they'll see your face, and after a while they feel like they know you, and they'll ask you to be part of their project. But if you're just submitting to things that show up on social media, they don't have any frame of reference for you. So it's a little bit of a hit or miss, but I don't really think that I let it dictate, because there's a lot going on that's not just on Facebook and Instagram. And I post every few weeks, usually on Instagram. I don't post very often on Facebook. And I always mean to do better, but I don't have pictures of interesting things to post. So unless they want to see my selfies or lots of books, as you can see, I like to read. There's not much for me to talk about every single day. So
no, absolutely. And I actually like the blue one right behind you on 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, where your finger's pointed.
Yeah, that one is a good one. I love old books. You can't see them as well here. I have these ones over here are reprints of old books. And then these ones up here are all old books. And then out in the living room, I have a fireplace mantle, and I have a whole row of old books out there. So
Actually, that brings up the next question I want to ask you, because I want to talk to you about disabilities now. Besides me, and I'm honored for that, have you worked with people with disabilities, and are you willing to work with people with disabilities? But before you answer that, I do want to say one thing. You know, I'm not the best reader. That goes into the question I'm going to ask you. But some of the people I would actually recommend to you: James Patterson, Tom Clancy, David Baldacci. You know, some of these great people, you know, are actually good books. Now,
yeah.
going back to the question, is say you're reading a script and then you're compared to someone else, like reading a script, like to me. Now, you have the looks for it and you have, you know, the heart and passion for it, but someone else may kind of fit what they're looking for, but they have a hard time reading a script. So how do you help someone? It's kind of like saying you're helping me read a script, but at the same time, you don't want to feel like you're giving me your part. You're just helping someone read the script. How do you go about that?
Let's see. I think what's most important about that is to get to where you don't feel like you have to read it, so that the words that you're saying are words that are in here instead of on the paper in front of you. So whenever I'm trying to help someone learn a script, I help them figure out what's happening in the scene and think about the words as if they were saying them. I remember helping a friend memorize Shakespeare, which is difficult for everybody. I'm pretty sure that even Ian McKellen struggles memorizing Shakespeare. So I remember helping her with it, and the lines don't always make sense when you read them. You have to make them make sense with your words and put the pieces together. So I think that's how I have helped people in the past.
And the next question I want to ask you is, have you ever gone up and beyond the Call of Duty?
I think so. On set, I usually try not to, I usually try and stay in my lane as much as possible, because they get fussy about, this is my job, this is your job, you do your job, I do my job. So unless I'm going to offer to help carry something or hold something for somebody else, I don't usually feel like there's much I can do above and beyond to make their lives easier, because they will not appreciate it most of the time. But it's something I like to do in my life overall, because I think that life is better when we serve each other and we help people around us. So I usually try not to make a big deal about it either. I don't know that I can think of any good stories or anything.
No, absolutely. And have you ever been in audition when there were people with disabilities, and have you ever felt like, you know, like I said before, you're not trying to actually give them your spot, but have you ever felt like, hey, if you ever needed someone to read or practice your lines a lot, you can count on me?
I don't know if I've ever had an audition where there was somebody with a disability at the audition, because most of mine are self-tapes anyway.
Right.
In Atlanta, there's not as many in-person auditions. But I've gone to mixers and events and classes where there have been people with disabilities, or people who just have a different way of looking at the world that is not stereotypical or not neurotypical. And it is harder sometimes, because you don't want to treat somebody differently, but at the same time recognizing that maybe they would feel better if you treated them differently or paid more attention to them. So I don't really know if I have a good answer to that, because I haven't at auditions.
No, absolutely. I give you like a quick funny story. I used to work in Woodbury Commons. That's like just one of the biggest malls in North America. And they were doing a commercial there. And they're like, oh, can I be part of it? They're like, oh, are you SAG extra? And now it's an actually last question I want to get actually about what's the difference between being a normal actor and being SAGs. But long story short, I asked if I'd be a part of it. They said no. Then I'm like, oh, well, I'm actually a talk show host for people with disabilities. So actually having someone with, of course, I used the disability card. Having someone with disabilities in your project, it actually makes you look better, and it looks like you're actually, doing something that's different. And they're like, oh, well, if you really want to be a part of it, you can. But there's no guarantee we're going to use you because we're going to do people walking back and forth. It'd be like a 3-second thing, and you got to waste your time. Okay. But I walked over to the actors, and I introduced myself and said, hey, my name's Keith Andrew. Very nice to meet you. I'm a talk show host for people with disabilities. And you gave them my card, obviously. And I can't tell you that during the 2 days, I met about 10 people in total. Never heard back from any of them. So I guess I really make that good of an impression. But I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road. And I just want to say thank you for your time.